Oh, so they made it easy for us. Sweet. Right? Activate. Fight. No pause. Feels good. Activate. Fight. No pause. So I think we're safe to block. I can't imagine what they could do to deal 5 damage to us. They haven't played a spell yet, so they would have to play a 2 and a 1, or 2 1s. So I'm feeling pretty good, and our opponent scoops it up. Hello, happy friends, and welcome back to the MTG Struggle Bus, where I struggle so much more, so you guys can struggle so much less. We are at it again, this time with mono green werewolves. That is right. We've kind of dabbled in Gruul werewolves, which is kind of the standard because Tovolar is amazing as well as Reckless Stormseeker, but this time we're sticking to mono green. This was a brew that was created by trainer James that I saw show up and I kind of liked it. The only modification I did to it is I cut a 1-drop for a little bit more top end, which I'll get into in a moment because you guys know I love top end and I want to make sure that we're capitalizing on Howlpack Piper. This is kind of the linchpin, not really honestly, but it's kind of one of the niches of the deck, right? We saw this card get a lot of hype initially. It's kind of died down because removal is so plentiful, but you know, if it sticks on the board, you're going to do some work. So let's go ahead and get into it. Howlpack Piper is a 2/2 human werewolf for 3 green. This spell can't be countered, which is sweet. Granted, it can't be bounced, and it can be tucked back in your hand with like things like Divide by Zero, but still, at least that's a little bit of text you don't have to worry about, right? Then here's the reason why you're running it. For 1 green, tap it. You may put a creature card from your hand to the battlefield. If it's a wolf or werewolf, untap Howlpack Piper. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is doing a couple of things. First, if it's a werewolf, you can do it multiple times in a turn because it will untap her, or you can play her, untap her, and then still attack. And it also counts as it doesn't count as casting a spell, so it's a good way to activate Night at the end of your turn. So on the Nightbound side, she becomes a 4/4 werewolf, Wild Song Howler. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Wild Song Howler, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So she's another way to kind of refill your hand, right? You played maybe 2 werewolves or even just 1 from your hand, and then she'll flip and immediately draw you a card. The flip side to that as well, pun intended, is that if it's already Nightbound, you can't activate her, you could still play her to put a card in your hand, which is sweet. All right, let's get into the rest of it, starting with our top end, the things that we want to play in. So as I stated, James had 2 Everbook caretakers and 2 hunt masters. I went ahead and added an additional caretaker because I like top end. I want to make sure we're doing it right because literally that's it. We go from Piper to that. So we'll make sure we have at least 1 in our hand, though sometimes ramping out 2-3 drops is pretty good as well. Tovolar Huntmaster is a 6/6 human werewolf for 4 green, and it's also known as Wolf Titan. When Huntmaster enters the battlefield, create 2/2 green wolf tokens. Sweet. Flip side that becomes Tovolar's Pack Leader. It becomes a 7/7. And then when Tovolar Pack Leader enters the battlefield or attacks, you get 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. So that's where the gray or the Wolf Titan part comes in. And then of course, this is a sweet card or activate ability as well. Pay 2 green does not require a tap. Another target wolf or werewolf you control fights a target creature you don't. So it tacks on additional removal, which is sweet. And then we have Everbook Caretaker, a 4/4 human werewolf for 4 green. Hexproof, yes! Makes it so difficult to deal with other than board wipes or sacrifice effects. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. The Nightbound side, she becomes a 6/6 werewolf, but then she gives all permanents you control a hexproof, lands, enchantments, all of it, and then she gives everybody a +2/+2 counter, so she runs away with the game very quickly. We only having Howlpack Piper as a 4-drop on the 3-drop slot. We are running 4 Old Growth Trolls. That's the biggest benefit to running mono green is you get a 4/4 Troll Warrior for triple green. Trample. When Old Growth Troll dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield as an aura attachment with the Enchanted Forest you control. Reads Enchanted Forest has tap, add 2 mana, 2 green mana to your mana pool, so a little bit of ramp, and you can pay 1 and sacrifice this land, so the one it's enchanting, to create a 4/4 green Troll Warrior creature token with Trample. So essentially making another copy of itself. Really great way to have resilience against board wipes, way to ramp into our 6-drops if we need to, and another great target to put counters on. You can cheat this into play with Piper, just realize that it won't untap her, so that you want it to be the last creature you cheat in. We're running 2 Cemetery Prowlers, which is a 3/4 wolf for 1 green. Vigilance. Whenever Cemetery Prowler enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card type they share with exiled cards in Cemetery Prowler. So pretty much you want to try to hit a creature with this, honestly, but sometimes sorceries work, and it has additional benefits where you can just keep eating your opponent's graveyard. For those nasty control decks with a lot of resurgence spells, flashback spells, you can start eating those. So it does have some value. The vigilance does come into play, especially when you start putting +1/+1 counters on it, where it can get in there and still is a formidable blocker. We're running 2 Howling Moons. This is an enchantment for 2 green. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target wolf or werewolf you control gets a +2/+2 until end of turn. So this is a good way to get our smaller guys to get additional damage in, because it makes it very difficult for our opponent to block. Then, if we're going up against a mono white deck that likes to play more spells in a turn, or the control decks that do like iteration before they draw cards, etc., whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So another solid way to hedge against those, like I said, those very low to the ground decks, as well as those control decks. It's pretty much only medium against mid-range decks. 2 drops. We're running 1 Inscription of Abundance, which is essentially a 5th kill spell or fight spell for 1 and a green instant, and that has kicker for 2 green, so either 2 or 5. Choose 1. If this spell is kicked, choose all of them. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on a target creature. Target player gains X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control, and target creature you control fights another target creature you don't control. So once again, a fight spell. We're running a playset of Outlander Liberators, which I continuously get impressed with this card. You'd be surprised how many enchantments and artifacts are just kind of randomly sitting on the board that you can pick off for free. It gets portable holes, it gets opposing ranger classes, it gets all the exile enchantments, it gets the hallowed haunting, it gets Meathook Massacre, right? All that stuff it hits, which is quite relevant. And you can do it one of 2 ways. It's either a 2/2 human werewolf for 1 and a green, and then you can pay a generic and sacrifice Outland Liberator to destroy target artifact or enchantment. And of course, it doesn't require it to tap, so you can do it the turn you play it or in response to them doing something. And then on the flip side, it becomes a 3/3 werewolf, and then it still has the same sacrifice text, but whenever Frenzied Trapbreaker attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. So that's super sweet because you get to do it for free. We're running a playset of Ranger class. This is a 1 and a green enchantment. Ranger class enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. For 1 and a green, it levels to 2. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature, and then for 3 green, it goes to level 3. You may look at the top card of your library. Anytime, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library, so a form of card advantage and resilience in the deck against those board wipey kind of decks. And then finally, Werewolf Pack Leader is a 3/3 human werewolf for a green. Has pack tactics. Whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power of 6 or greater this combat, draw a card. And then as additional text, which sometimes comes in handy for 3 and a green until end of turn, Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness of 5/3 and gains trample and isn't a human. So solid there. And then the 1-drop slot. We are running 3 Ascended Pack Leaders. This is a 2/1 wolf for a green. Ascended Pack Leader enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it if you control a permanent with mana value 4 or greater. And then whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Ascended Pack Leader. So of note, it does not trigger off of the Piper's ability because you are putting them into play and not casting them, but it does trigger when you play Howlpack Piper because it is a 4-cost creature. And then finally, the key removal spell in mono green, Blizzard Brawl, is a green for a snow sorcery. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, target creature you control gets a +1/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Then those creatures fight each other. So a good way to get an annoying blocker out of the way and then attack free of worry of your creature dying. So alright guys, that is the deck. Without further ado, let's find out how many times we could pipe some things into play. Alright, we're on the play. We have all the 2-drops we can ask for, so let's keep it, and then hopefully we see a Overgrowth Troll or a Cemetery Prowler, so we can play that on 3. I also would not hate a Pack Leader on the draw, but we'll find out here. Just because we can then go 2 and then 3 and 2 and 1, you know what I mean? Kind of keep our curve. Another power, all right, fair enough. Let's go ahead and get our Liberator down. Just in case our opponent doesn't have a turn 2 play, we can flip into a 3/3, pick off some enchantments. Plus, I'd rather this eat their first removal spell than our Pack Leader. All right, fair enough. No attacks on either side. We'll see your Pack Leader and raise it. So this sets us up to get blown out if they have the Blizzard Brawl. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Well, they're missing their 3rd snow, so hopefully we don't see a brawl here. They could brawl our Liberator down, then attack into our Pack Leader, which it looks like that's what's gonna happen. And do we trade? Do we trade? I think we do, because our follow-up play is not very good. So even if they have 2 counters or 1 counter for Snakeskin Veil, this trade happens. So we know they have a fast spell, Ranger class. Fair enough. So our Liberator may be able to deal with that. Let's go ahead and still be mana efficient and play our Troll. The reason being is they can't really attack, so if they take the turn off to level the class, next turn we can bash it with Liberator. That feels pretty good. So I was correct to play a Liberator early. Let's see if they're playing a Chariot here. Oddity, okay. I think we'll take that trade. They decide they don't want to. Fair enough. Because that was going to let us Huntmaster here. So I guess we stay on defense and send it back. Just because we don't want this Oddity to just strike in freely, right? Plus, if we get lucky enough and our opponent flips it tonight, I don't think they're going to because of the fact that we have Liberator, but that would make our Huntmaster significantly stronger. So it's looking pretty good for us. Not clean cut. Our opponent still has 4 cards in hand and could have a potential active Ranger class. So they're going to play another Ranger class. Fair enough, opponent. So we're not too worried about their Wolves. They have no good attacks, I feel like. So we're just going to Huntmaster next turn. Still try to keep maybe the Liberator flip alive, right? I mean, I don't see why our opponent wouldn't level up a Druid class here, or a Ranger class here. So we could double block. That way, if they have the Snakeskin Veil, we still kill it. We get to keep our old Growth Troll. So it's 2 counters, right? So they're going to go to kill both. Okay. Still a 2 for 2, and we're not really losing our Troll. Like I said, I think we'll be able to race these ranger classes. Sadly, we can't sack the troll back right now. I would like to, but we can't. So we're gonna send it. Still think I made the right decision. Still think I made the right decision. If we can flip this Huntmaster, we'll be in pretty good position as well. Opponent still was not able to activate Faceless Haven. Feel like we're okay to attack with Huntmaster. Worst case scenario, they have another inscription, right? Another oddity, okay. So we could simply pass it back here. Think I'm gonna do that, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can immediately shoot down the oddity. Oh, we're playing pack leader. I think putting it into night benefits us. And our opponent's going to have a hard time shifting it back into day. And now we have the ability to start fighting things, right? We could trade off the wolves for their wolves. But I think we're probably just going to end up... Let's see. I feel like a 7/7 is going to be difficult for our opponent to deal with. We do have access to 5 mana now. So they could go bump this up to a 6 to hit us. Yeah, I definitely think it was a good call to flip it tonight. Just to put it outside of that reach. Then once again, we have the mana should we need to. Alright, cool. I think we're actually going to just fight the wolves they try to put counters on. Because then we can immediately attack the subsequent turn and get 2 more wolves back. Oh, so they made it easy for us. Sweet. Right? Activate. Fight. No pause. Feels good. Activate. Fight. No pause. So I think we're safe to block. I can't imagine what they could do to deal 5 damage to us. They haven't played a spell yet, so they would have to play a 2 and a 1, or 2 1s. So I'm feeling pretty good, and our opponent scoops it up. Man, this one's halfway tempting, but we need 2 mana to make it work. I think we could do better, even on the play. I guess we can also level up Ranger class. Alright, let's keep this one. It could punish us. I definitely acknowledge it. But the fact that we have something else to do on 2, so we really want to see land, which isn't typically the most optimal of plays, right? So we'll see. Ooh, going against rogues. So either rogues or a mill strategy. Interesting. Alright. Only problem is typically they run some kind of cheap bounce, right? To kind of get ahead on tempo. So losing our wolf is rough. But leveling up class will let us get through this crab, thankfully. Ooh, red. Alright. Yeah, that was actually a pretty good mill for us. That was going to be kind of bad. Hopefully we still draw land here. Alright, cool. So we're not behind the power curve. And let's get in there. Interesting. They took it all. That's a good sign for us. So we're going to put our next counter. Question is, do we want to put it on the wolf? Because they have red, so now they could potentially have access to play with fire, though it seems counterproductive, right? Rune Crab for sure solidifies the fact that they're on a mill strategy. And, I mean, they've already got 4 cards. Milling 2 lands is a little rough because, I mean, we've drawn, like, literally... I mean, we need to get these down quicker if we're going to play against mill. So they foretold here. Didn't play a land. It's actually cool. Really needed it. Our 4th land there would have been absolutely huge. Like, not even going to lie. Alright, let's get in there. And we are going to spread the counters around. So, probably a bolt, if I had to say. Oh man, it would have been pretty huge to get. If we got Piper down there, I feel like our chances of winning this game go up dramatically. Probably, alright, hit their land. It's gonna make up for a little bit. Alright. Okay. So either like a land or a Blizzard Brawl are the two things we're looking for here. Like I said, I think Ranger class is gonna do a little bit of work. We're going to continue to spread around the counters. That way, like, no one bounce or removal spell will really kind of do us in, right? There's a land. Let's go to combat first. See if we could bait anything that they might have going on. And then question is, I mean, they have to block here. So, we'll see what they got going on. Wonder if it's worth just slamming the Howlpack Piper, right? So they're going to draw 1 and then discard. Yep, that works. So I think the juice is worth the squeeze here. I think it's worth risking it because once again, if we get to untap with this Piper, that is pretty huge. We missed a point of damage there, but I think it was better to find out what our opponent play was before we attack or before we played the Piper, right? I think not giving them perfect information that turn would have helped quite a bit. They're gonna go digging, so that's a good sign. And you know what? I don't even know why I mentioned getting countered. I knew that Piper can't be countered, but for some reason I drew a blank. So Cinderclasm doesn't get him out of this. We have enough mana value in our deck that I don't think Tasha's Hideous Laughter is going to do it either. So I'm feeling pretty good about this turn. We'll be able to play 2 Caretakers. What does that do? Okay, so they get to bounce 2 things or burn 2 things. Right, it could be the eruption, right? Sugi Ornament enters the battlefield, copy the next 2, and if Sugi Ornament was kicked, copy the spell twice instead. Okay. So, I mean, they have a couple of things, right? Burn spells would do it, Fading Hope will do it. So, we'll see what they end up doing. Fading Hope, alright, fair enough. Let's see who the second one is. Hopefully it's not our Piper. They're targeting it, though. Gosh, darn it. We're still in a pretty good spot. It's just unfortunate because if we could have landed both these Caretakers, I think that would have been game, honestly. But, you know, it is what it is. So, now that the jig is up, I think we will just go ahead and Piper pre-combat, keep pressuring our opponent. Oh no. Come on, deck. Get in there. So I feel pretty comfortable. These are out of burn range. Interested to know what our opponent's running the red for. Oh, iteration. It's probably what it is. If I had to take a stab at it. So they get another way to double Hideous Laughter, right? I think that's the big finisher for these mill decks. I mean, where are we at? We're at 28 cards left. That makes me feel pretty good. The fact that they missed, what, 2 land drops? And, I mean, it's still somewhat close, I think, personally. There's the Galvanic Iteration that we knew about. Let's see what they're doing here. Hideous Laughter twice, trying to get there. Will that get there? That was a lot of lands there. And they got there! Holy cow! Nice! Holy shnikes, look at that. Wow, that was enough. Amazing. Well done. All right, we're on the play and we have a solid curve, so we're gonna keep this. I think we're gonna play Outland Liberator on 2 versus Ranger class. I just like the fact that it starts the day-night cycle, right? In most cases, we want our werewolves on the night side. So if we can get that going sooner, then I think it's better for us. And then obviously we're gonna go Old Growth Troll on 3 because that's probably one of the best plays the mono green can make, in all honesty. Let's see, tap the land, base camp. Okay, so they're a party deck. Fair enough. So I'm not sure if the Liberator will come into play or not, but it's definitely not flipping. So at least we also have, I mean, we literally have a curve. Play Old Growth Troll on 3, and then on 4 play Ranger Cross. Level it, get in there. Let's see if it works out. Base camp does what? Add one more any color. Spend this. Okay, alright. So, oh, they're a cleric deck. Okay. Fair enough, opponent. So there is a consideration to flip Liberator, right? Maybe we should have just passed, because our opponent's only gonna be able to play one thing, and we can kill the Pyre of Heroes. We may just kill it anyways. Let's see what cleric they play. So they can play a 1-drop, then activate it, and that gets what, a 2-drop. So it's the blue-black or black-white cleric, right? The 2/2 that gains them. Red. Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. What? Oh, vigilance and trample. Whenever venerable. Warsinger deals combat damage to the player, you may return target creature card from mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of damage vulnerable Warsinger dealt to that player. Interesting. Interesting. Fire off Moon. And then let's see if our opponent wants to trade. I don't think they do. Fair enough. So that's part of their game plan. Really don't know what they're doing, so I figure when in doubt, just beat down, right? If we draw a land, we can Ranger class plus Howling Moon, or we can activate Piper plus Howling Moon. So I think we have, well, we're not going to activate Piper if we draw land, so disregard. We can activate Piper, play the unit or creature, and play Ranger class. All right, let's see what part of their dynamic this is. Okay, so it is the cleric. Another Howlpack, pack leader, Old Growth Troll. I guess we just, I mean, playing Howling Moon. So I guess we get, oh, this is awkward. Sure. Oh, it's already nighttime. Well, poop. Okay, so then we just go here. Go to combat. Pump the smallest wolf. And then destroy that. And they scoop it up. Alright, fair enough. A little bit of a brew on our opponent's side. I would have liked to see it play out. Alright, no 1-drop, but we have 2, 3, 4, and we're on the play. So I think we're going to keep it. Keep our fingers crossed that our opponent does come out the gate swinging. Because hopefully we are. Alright, alright. Man, this is actually interesting. I think I'm going to go with Liberator here. It has a high chance of flipping, right? And it's able to kind of deal with treasure tokens. So they played white. So this is the America control. America. So we're going to attack first, see what they do. And then I think we'll play pack leader. All right, fair. All right, sweet. So we have our window. We could play 2 wolves here, but I think we just want to play the more resilient threat. That could be a mistake because playing both wolves plays around, yeah, it's actually more damage next turn. If we draw a land, we play Piper. So that actually might have been a mistake. Because then we would have been able to draw a card. Yeah, the more I think about it, I think we should... Alright. So we still get to do 2 things here. Let's get in there. And then let's go here and here. So we draw a card. So if you control a creature with flying. Okay, so another brew, it's looking like. America Flyers. Alright, so tucked something. This is... Wouldn't be saw it coming, would it? I mean, they wouldn't be able to play it, so the shields are down. Plus, Piper is uncounterable, which is sweet. Then yeah, let's go ahead and play her. Gets 1 counter, we get to draw some cards. They can't divide by 0 her. They can burn something. She's gonna let us look. And... I think we just... Man, this is a little awkward because we're putting a lot of faith on Huntmaster if we take it. I think I'm just gonna take another Piper. And then let's see what our opponent does here as we crash in, draw a card. Cemetery Prowler, alright. Ooh, our opponent's taking it all? So this has to be a burn down the house. If not, I can't imagine how they're going to come back from this. So, burn down the house. Yep, fair enough. Couldn't quite get enough damage in there. Another troll. We can also... Grafter doesn't make everything cheap enough, unfortunately. So let's go. What's the most mana efficient? We have access to 5 mana. This is 3 and 2. We can do like 4 and 1, I guess. Only problem with that is it's not enough damage. And it also turns off night. Well, we don't particularly care about that. Oh, this is gonna let us dig though. So, yeah, I think we just spend all our mana. Let's just get another Piper. Maybe that was a mistake knowing that we have access to 5 mana. So our opponent can Cinderclasm here. Yeah, I think that's why I wanted to put a little more power on the board, actually. Because now they can burn down the house again, but that would have killed everything. Or they can Cinderclasm, which means they can wait. No, they can't actually. If they don't play anything, then it flips. This is still representing lethal. There's no way where we could play... I guess we could play our 1-drop and leave up Old Growth Troll, but that seems pretty, like, lackluster. Oh, you know what this probably is? The 4 damage spell. I forgot what it's called now. Demon Bolt, I think, is the one I'm looking for. Doomscar. Fair enough, opponent. Fair enough. Alright, let's see. So, Lair. And I guess... I mean... I don't think we particularly care about that, so let's just eat up a creature. Sadly, it doesn't take the power away from that, but... Could we have tapped a different way? No. So, I guess, man, I really gotta stop and think a little bit longer, because there, I guess, playing Old Growth Troll would have allowed us, if they killed it, to put it on a land and sack it. Okay. Alright, opponent. Let's do this first. See what response you have. Absence. Fair enough. Maybe we should have attacked first? No. Alright, fair. Let that happen. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's play Troll this time. And then that way we have the choice of either If they kill it, we can put it on the forest and sack the forest, or we could draw a card. Still have a little ways away. They only have one blue as well. Alright, let's just draw here. Another Piper. It is nighttime, so Piper lets us dig. We can suit up two things, but then it makes the bounce significantly stronger. So let's just get in there and see what happens. Opponent can take it. That's definitely an option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this may be a windfall. Nothing we could do about that. It's still nighttime. Oops. Let's go here and here. Play this one. That way it stays nighttime. Thing is, I want to have access to an end of turn old growth troll, so that's why I wanted to tap like this, right? So we have access to at least one. Alright, opponent's digging. So they're going to double spell. Fair enough. We'll take the 2. Oh, that's right. Lantern gained them life. I was like, wait a second. I thought they were significantly closer to dying. Opponent targeted the tapped one, right? That's what it looks like. Should target artifact. Okay, nice, nice. And it's going to switch it back over to daytime. Let's just do this, keep the pressure on our opponent. It's actually not too bad. So let's go here and activate. And that makes it a little awkward for our opponent, I think, because if they burn down the house, right? If they burn down the house now, they kill their own guy. They have to use 3 spells to kill our troll. And we're presenting lethal next turn, though of course shields did go down. They're going to behold, that's going to probably kill the wolf. Alright, yeah. It's a good sign for us. So they're looking for a bounce spell, maybe? You have access to 4 mana left with all their colors. It's going to be close. They do have another foretell card, foretold. Bottom top, not very good for us. Not a good sign. Let's see. Luckily, we're still at a 20 life total, so that bodes well for us. Another land. Do we want to fire up the lair? It's just crazy. I have no idea what their deck is, so I think we just need to swing. If we kill the dragon, we kill the dragon, right? They have to block plus play a spell. I think that's better than firing something, our Hydra up, right? Hydra would have been a 3, or been a 4 plus a counter. Behold. Yep, they're a target. That resolves. So, I mean, I guess it would have been worth it to go for it, I guess, because they only had a way of dealing with one thing. Still not the worst, because now we get to Piper here. Only problem is they do have a full grip, and we know they have life gain in their deck, so probably tap that incorrectly. So let me see. If they burn down the house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they still have 4 mana left. Doom Scar, fair. Another 2 for 1 with plenty of mana left. Caretaker. We think they got it. Fire up for 1 is not lethal, unfortunately. Gosh, this is awkward. This is awkward. They haven't shown us counter magic yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What have they shown us? Rip apart. Deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Lantern Flare deals X damage. So if we could fire up... Yeah, they have plenty. So let's just Caretaker. Get this on the board. No pause there. So... They could still have some form of direct damage. But the thing is about Caretaker is that... I mean, what are they going to do now, right? Everything has hexproof. So... Fire... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Fire this up for 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I think we're safe. Yep, there we go. Hexproof, getting there. Oh man, this one's so tempting. We go first, but we're not really doing much. Though we have Piper and Huntmaster, that's what we came here to do. So I think I have faith in our deck. I think we have plenty enough 2s and 3s to draw, or actually 2s and mana. I'd be happy if we just take turn 2 off, I guess. I twitch. All right, that's a little awkward. There's our 3rd mana. We're gonna hold here, unfortunately. So this mono black deck, a better start than our last opponent. I don't even know if that was the same player or not. Yep, we'll take the 1. This is either a Shambling Ghast or a... I mean, I guess they would have blocked, right? Ah, another Eye Twitch. Fair. Fair. Ooh. Can we get another land? Not the aggressive start, or lack of aggressive start that we wanted. We really wanted to be a little more aggressive on the board to start pressuring our opponent's life total. So we have a way to deal with the inevitable blood on the snow. But our opponent's also in a position where they can't ramp, so that helps a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really want to see our mountain, our forest off the top. We can land Piper. I'm going to feel pretty good because then we'll be able to go Piper into Huntmaster, drawing us deeper, and then we can hold whatever we draw for the inevitable blood wipe. But our opponents could be hard pressed to do something. And then our stuff is big enough then to deal with the not what we wanted to see. So I don't think there's enough incentive to Blizzard Brawl here. We get, well, I guess we do get him for 7. Man, yeah, let's see what's up. Like, I think there might have been an argument to keep it for the Skullport Trader, right? I think that's one of the things we're really looking to take out of. But I do want, like, they're sitting at such a healthy life total right now. I really want to be proactive and get some damage in, you know what I mean? So another pause. Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe I should have held off. So is this an Infernal Grass killing our old growth troll? Okay, we did get him for 7, so the turn wasn't a complete botch. Though, Liberator flipping so we can start taking care of these treasures, I feel like is going to be a little far-fetched. I wonder if it is correct to just take out the treasure. Oh, that's right, Witch. Completely forgot about Witch. Like, straight up. Nice. This is interesting. I wonder if there's an argument to get him for 2 and then kill the treasure. Right? Is that like actually a thing? I don't think so. I think we... Question is, do we sandbag? Oh wow, they're taking all of it. Interesting. Oh, I guess I could have done that. Yeah. I mean, they would just block. Well, they would have blocked. So I messed up there. So yeah, blood in the snow here. They get back the witch. Maybe I should have held on to it because then that would have turned on the night cycle, right? Yeah, I think I should have held. But this also puts our opponent in the position where it's do or die time, right? Plus, it also makes it to where if we draw a land, another witch. Okay, so I feel significantly better about our opponent not and okay. Well, then I think we're gonna go ham next turn. I just don't see our opponent playing another witch and then flooding the board with 1/1s if they had a blood on the snow. And this could end up biting us in the bum. Ah, I see. Well, we want to do this, so I think we're going to cure enough value. So we would have been able to do it if they board wiped anyways. And this is only triggers off of plays, right? So... start offering our opponent some trades if they want. This kind of feels like a board wipe. Now this feels like a board wipe, right? They're 1 mana shy. This lets us play Huntmaster. We can draw 2 cards if we just play another pack leader. I don't know if that's horrible or not. Let's do it this way and just play the Piper. And then that way we can leave a blood in the snow. We have the Huntmaster. Yeah, I think that's safer. Because these are going to replace themselves, right? Alright, take Caretaker for sure. I wish we could have taken both, because I would have taken the other Piper. And we whiff? Really? Oh, man. Yeah, and then sacking the Old Growth Troll is going to put us down 2 lands, so that's not really a possibility. I think we still Caretaker first. Get the Hexproof going. Yep. This is a board. Blood on the Snow. It's fine. They get a 1/1 out of it. Or not even. They just get their 3/2. And then we play Caretaker or we play Huntmaster. That's actually not bad. Okay, so... I mean, they have an empty board, so we could technically sack, but... So I think we're going to Huntmaster. They haven't had an Infernal Grasp yet. So they're playing in the meat hook. Lolth, okay. We can actually deal with that.
You reek with terror. My power is for annihilation.
Don't play another spell. Gosh darn it. Of course. And then it becomes day. Awkward. So we can kill her if we fire up the Haven. I think I'm just gonna get her going. Maybe I should have just attacked with one. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think that kills our caretaker, doesn't it? And then she makes 2 spiders. Yep. Man, I thought we were doing so well. Our opponent definitely handled this really well.
I'm sure you'll miss me. I will get what I want.
Oh.
I have impeccable
Well then. That is a different story, my friends. Go to combat. Send this at them so they have to block. And then I think we hold so she flips. So how are we gonna do this? Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power. So if we fire this up, we can't do that.
Well, darn.
I think that's correct. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think we're just gonna end up dying to not having trample. And maybe we should have. And now they get double spell again. Yeah. Man, this is actually pretty rough here at this point. I think we're just gonna end up dying to them having spells. Our opponent did a great job navigating this game. Absolutely a great job. Oh, yeah, they got it. Our opponent's going first. And the 2 caretakers are kind of a mulligan, but we have 2 2-drops and a brawl. So I think we're going to keep this. I think we're going to keep this one. Blue, alright. Pathway, blue, black. So I think we're going to play pack leader first. Because we may need the Liberator for... If it's like zombies, we may need it for Necroduality. If it's a more control-y version, then we may need it for the Meat Hook Massacre. So let's just go ahead and play this. Oh, yeah, I guess forgot about Gerard Disruption. Alright. Okay, so it's the Lear deck. We pretty much have to sandbag this brawl for Lear, unfortunately. Wow, that's man, that's a good draw. It's a good draw, opponent. Alright. I guess we can brawl plus that. I mean, that's gonna just save them so much life that I think we can't let that happen, unfortunately. Alright, let's play that and then hold off. Man, that's a real bummer, because, like, Prowler would have been great against the Leer deck, just exiling all... So when they play Leer, they wouldn't get as much back. It's unfortunate. Hopefully they don't play any... Alright. Man. We get a card back. Like I hope I don't regret this. We get a card back, so I think it's worth it. One, two, three, four, five. So if we can get it to, if we can get Nightfall before Caretaker drops, I feel pretty decent of our position. So what is this? Divide by 0. It's not Deluge. Another Meat Hook for 2. Okay, I'll take that. And then now we can sack in response. Yeah, okay, cool, cool. I'll take it. So they still gain the life. Piper, nice. Play Piper. You know what? I actually kind of think that might have been a mistake. I think we actually just needed to get in there with Haven, actually. We would have drawn a card. And our opponent scoops it up. Okay, alright. Whew. That was one for the books for sure. So, yeah. Deck sweet. I think it's still probably a 3. We did come across a little bit of some issues, right? I mean, it's an aggro deck, so it's mid-range aggro, or I guess it's mid-range is what it feels like. There's definitely a big difference when we landed the Howling Moon or got the Piper to resolve, I think. Piper definitely makes this deck come together. I love the fact that it can't be countered, but, I mean, you could still bounce it with Divide by 0 or with Fading Hope, so there's that. But, I mean, you guys already know, I absolutely love Averbrook Caretaker. I think that card is great. It can feel a little clunky, but man, does it help you win games. Everything else is solid. I think there's enough targets for Outland Liberator that I like playing it. You know, you get some freebies in there, especially with the enchantment deck running around and stuff, but everything else is really solid. Yeah, I still think you can climb. You can climb with the deck, but... you know, it's Piper is a very specific card to craft. Old Growth Troll is a very specific card to craft because of the triple green. I think Tovolar's Huntmaster can go in any deck, and Caretaker, you can't just put it in like any deck, right? It can't be your finisher in a control deck. It kind of needs some help because on the day side it only gives something else counters. But I like Howling Moon. I think it was great. Make occasional Wolves when other decks were playing 2 spells a turn. It's great against the mono white deck that's trying to play 2 spells per turn and the Is It decks. So yeah, I like it. I think the deck is a solid 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. But until next time, as always, happy gaming.